Hello, sports fans. Mauricio here. So let's run this uh, page again to try to save a new product. And I see that we have an interesting hat. Let's say I can buy some interesting hats for $12. And it says, hey, check data entry. Um, now, now that, and it just stopped. So, just by the way, it didn't work because I had this a little wrong. So is numeric is the number they typed in? I think $10 or $12. Uh, so the cost I typed in, captured by txt-cost.txt, is that a number? If that's false, then stop. So I just had a little, show an error message and stop. So I had a little typo there, and now it's fine. And now it says, hey, the product interesting hat is already in the products list. Process ended. How did that happen? That's the first thing we'll take a look at in this procedure. So what are we doing? This button. Here are the steps to save a new product. All right, so that's what we're trying to do. So the first thing we did was the error checking. And then the next thing we're doing is all this code I have highlighted here. And all of this is before we, so we may exit sub. But all of this happens, if the product is already there. All of this happens before we make a new row and then capture the values from the web controls into the new row and then save it to the database. So we don't get there if this product, so this is error checking. So this is a continued error checking. So now first we made sure that we had a value. First, we made sure we had a value for all the data entry. Did they select a category? Did they type in a cost? Did they type in a name? The perishable is optional, so you can't really, say anything like, hey, you didn't enter something there because it's optional to enter something there. All right, but this is continued error checking. So we started with, did you give it a value? And now this is further. Do we already have one? So this is continued error checking. Is the proposed product already in the database table called My Products? Well, couldn't you just go look at the table? Yeah, but it's nicer if something's faster. Plus, the table could be 5,000 rows, and that's not fun. All right, so make a local variable integer that's going to be used for to count. So we can count how many times the product's already in there, and if the count is 1. If the count is greater than 1, so select case count. If the count is greater than 1, then we're going to stop and say, hey, we already got that. So we're going to run this command that's going to go count the number of rows from my products table that have that name, and that name is passed in from a text box. So this is another step forward. Before we just did a data-adapter.fill to go fetch data, and then we did a data-adapter.update to go save a row. And now we're doing something different, a SQL command, and we're doing a command execute scalar. And so execute scalar just returns a number, like 4. In this case, it's we're counting, is that product in my table? If that product is in my table, the count, so So this command is running this SQL statement, which is running a select count. So I suppose I should show you that. So I'll just copy that. But we're doing a count, and if the count, select case int count. So when you run this command, right, see there's a command, there's a try catch block, and when you run this command, it takes the answer, the select count, and we're putting it in. When you see an equal sign, code is right to left, and so go ahead and execute the command, and it's going to return a number because it's a select count, and that number is going to go into this variable here. If that int count, if that variable is more than 0, then we're going to stop. Okay, so there's a lot there. Specifically, select count may be new, and product name equals at p1, which is a parameter. So let me run that. Oh boy, that's advanced. You don't want to see that stuff. All right, so there we go. Elect count. All right, so where product name equals red shoes. We had 3 of them with red shoes. So we should have had this error checking before, but we have it now. So how about blue shoes? We got any blue shoes? All right, 0. So select count is just counting the number of rows. Count the number of rows from the table where column name equals filter. So you could have other column names, category, and I think shoes might be a category. So you can count up many different things, but we're just counting if it's red shoes or whatever is typed by the inside the text box. So all right, so this is nice functionality. What does it do? It stops and gives an error message. It stops you from entering the same product more than once. Okay, so that's pretty useful. All of that is before we make the new row to save a new row. So we make a new SQL command that's going to be run, and in this case you can do a select count, you can do a select sum, you can just get a number like select product cost from the table, but you have to give it a filter. Column name equals parameter, and so this is maybe your first parameterized SQL statement. I don't know, but hard-coded SQL statement would say product name equals red shoes. That would be hard-coded to always look for red shoes, but don't we want to pass in whatever they type in the text box? Yes, that's what a parameter does. So this command, check product, is going to be run, and this execute scalar method runs the red SQL statement and returns one number. So execute scalar of the command, here's our command, execute scalar runs the statement, select statement, and returns one number. So if you ever need one number, you use execute scalar. And it returns that one number and puts it in this local variable, integer variable, which we later use in a case statement, and the case statement decides whether we're going to stop or whether we're going to just give a message, hey, your product's not on the list, so okay, everything's good, we'll add it. But this is a SQL command. The SQL command gets run with this execute scalar method that runs the select statement, which is parameterized, and so this command has a parameters collection. So this is how you add a parameter. First you clear out any old value, and then you add with value, go get the value, put that into the parameter, and then when we run this command, the value from the web page gets inserted into the filter for the where statement. And all this is done in a secure manner if you use parameters. So this is really an input parameter, and so P1 parameter 1. So the command has a parameters collection which you clear out, and then you add the current value from the web page. This is how you add the value from the web page into the parameter, which is used in the SQL select statement. So we create the command, we tell it what it's going to do, select count, and then we pass in the value from the web page for the filter parameter, and then you open the connection and go run the command, and then it returns back a number like you just saw, 0, 1, 3. Put that into the local integer variable, and then select case. So here's a select case. If you here's a good usage of it. If you hopefully you've, I think, yeah, of course we've seen these. All right, so select case in count. So in case the count is greater than 0, there's already a product with that name, red shoes, or whatever. If there's already a product, then give a message, hey, that product, red shoes, is already on the products list, process ended, exit sub. So this exit sub is the wild horse that needs to be inside an if statement or inside an end select. So you would never have exit sub just kind of laying around in your code. So what if the product is not? So we're going to count up. Is that product in my table? What if it's not? Case 0. The count returned is 0. All right, then just give a message, hey, it's not on the list. Let's go ahead and add it. And so this is continued error checking before we ever make a new row and then fill the columns of that row and add that row and then do the update. Before we ever do that, we check, is that product already in the table? So that's really great error checking, and let's go ahead and try it out again. So let's go ahead and clear the form, and let's see, I have ginseng poppers. There is no like statement here. So if I were to put ginseng poppers large, so I was just looking over here, we got ginseng. So it would save that. It would save a similar named. So there's more work that could be done here. So currently we're just actually I used an equal statement here. If I said like or something, it would have to be a little more than that. So let's not go there. So a like is a SQL statement that is a way to get a similar name. So I have to think that one through, but right now we should not be able to add ginseng poppers. We already have that. So let's see. But we don't have ginseng poppers large, so we should be able to add that. But maybe if we used a like statement, we could just get anything like ginseng poppers. But you might have an 8-ounce bag and a 16-ounce bag, and so probably want to keep it the exact name. But anyway, so we should not food. Yeah, we can get those for $5, and they are perishable. So let's see if we can save that product. Ooh, it's already on the list. So how about ginseng poppers red hot? Okay. is not on the list and will be added. So that works, and we'll see you next video.